Come on, crackheads. Please, if you remember that video, please tell me if you remember that. I'm hella showing my age here, but the title should come as no surprise, quite frankly. Once again, Nicki Minaj is showing her true colors, and they are not pretty. Let's be honest. At this point in time, nobody should be expecting any better from her, but we're gonna go over her clownery together anyway. Variety writes, Nicki Minaj says it's impossible for Gavin Newsom to become president in 2028. He thinks he's Tom Cruise. This is coming from the self-proclaimed Republican, mind you, who's a black immigrant. What the f*** ever. You can't save someone who doesn't want to be saved, you know? Nicki Minaj went after California Governor Gavin Newsom in a series of X posts on Friday. Targeting a quote from the presidential hopeful in which he supports trans youth. It's just, you're in your 40s. Okay, I'm trying to compose myself. During a recent appearance on the Ezra Klein show, Newsom said, I want to see trans kids. There's no governor that's done more pro-trans legislation than I have. No one has been a stronger advocate for the LGBT community. I'm going to stop you right there. Just as an aside, any person who's like, no one has done more for this community than I have, it's giving Trump. Just saying. The quote has recently circulated online, with some using it to disparage Newsom's image as a potential presidential candidate. Ever the class act, Nicki Minaj tweeted, imagine being the guy running on wanting to see trans kids. Ha, ha. Not even a trans adult would run on that. Normal adults wake up and think they want to see healthy, safe, happy kids. Why doesn't that include trans kids? Hello? Not Gav. The Gav-nots. Gav out. Oh my god. Someone is lost in the sauce. Send in the next guy. I'm bored, with a screenshot of Chucky. That was 8:28. And then again, less than 10 minutes later, Gavin is the cute boy who got everything handed to him because of how cute and sexy and hot and smoking he was. Ooh, look at him. Sitting there in that suit with the sneakers on. He thinks he's Tom Cruise. Only difference is his next mission is impossible. He should get another leading role with another screenshot of Chucky. Onika, I'm a little confused. Are you trying to attack the trans community, or are you trying to fuck Gavin Newsom? I'm sorry, going on and on about how hot you think someone is never has been, never will be a good attack plan. It's giving shoving someone into a locker and getting all up in his face and calling him pretty boy. Like, you don't look like the big macho man. You look like you're itching. It just sounds like you're fiending for something only that person can provide. And what's with the Chucky screenshots? Like I said, I don't even know if these are memes. What emotion is this supposed to be? What are you trying to convey? People of all ages use memes and send their friends memes and all the stupid internet stuff, right? But when they do it stupidly, it just makes me want to eat my own teeth. Lady, you are 43. Grow up. In yet another tweet, not 20 minutes later, she says,
Oh, Gabby Poo, it only gets worse from here for you, buddy. It's the end of the road for you, my love. Get on the nearest jet ski and let that beautiful hair blow in the wind. It will make you happier than this race that you will not win. Enjoy life. Peace.
Again, what emotion is that supposed to be? I don't think I need to repeat myself. Onika. Can I call you Onika? I'm going to anyway because I don't respect you, Onika. Why are you talking about his beautiful hair now? If you want to leave your ugly predator husband, you could just do that. You don't need to adopt elementary school playground tactics of bullying the person you secretly have a crush on. You definitely don't need to throw trans people under the bus for no reason on the way to your conquest. Just kidding. We all know she's just a bigot. I'm not kidding about the Newsom thirst, though. And speaking of thirst and leaving worthless husbands, in response to her little Twitter meltdown, allegedly Newsom's office tweeted this. Know your neighborhood and protect your community. California's Megan's Law website makes it easy to access publicly available information about registered sex offenders in your area. Keep your kids safe. And why did they do that? Because they're throwing shade at her for marrying a predator. That's him right there, who is registered on the sex offender registry. That just makes me giggle. I absolutely love that she can never open her mouth to wield her tongue against anyone undeserving without facing immense backlash for marrying a known predator. This will follow her to the grave, and that makes me happy. In light of this, I just want to go off on a little thing. Someone on TikTok was thinking out loud, wondering if there was a connection between Republicans / maggots and addiction. More specifically, addiction, because what's the one thing they all have in common? They are constantly just miserable as shit and the most hateful people you will ever encounter in life, yet never choose to be happier. They said they found something that supports that theory, the theory being that they're addicted to being angry. I forgot to write that in, my bad. So I searched it and I found something from the National Center for Biotechnology Information. I'll link it below if you want to read it, because I won't pick through the entire thing, and there are a couple points in there that I think are a little odd, just fair warning. But in the introduction alone, the author Jocelyn J. Bellinger raises points that I think we have all bore witness to with very hateful people. Drawing from evidence collected across cultures and ideologies, I describe 4 processes through which ideological obsession puts individuals on a path towards violence. First, ideological obsession deactivates moral self-regulatory processes, allowing unethical behaviors to be carried out without self-recrimination. Second, ideologically obsessed individuals are easily threatened by information that criticizes their ideology, which in turn leads to hatred and violent retaliation. Third, ideological obsession changes people's social interactions by making them gravitate towards like-minded individuals who support ideological violence. Kind of like a cult? As these social networks become more interconnected, they amplify one's adherence to violent extremism. Finally, ideologically obsessed individuals are prone to psychological reactions, making them immune to communication strategies intended to dissuade them from using violence. Of course, this at its core is about a pathway that leads them to violence. Not all people who make being hateful their entire personalities are going to end up being physically violent in a personal one-on-one sense, so I won't go that far in this essay. However, it's important to note that oppression is violence, and that is indeed what they support, and they are apathetic to the violence they see the members of their ideology committing in a more literal sense. Not all of them are going to shoot the people they're bigoted toward, but the violence is there regardless. We all on the same page? Okay, cool. The start of the next section just lays out the types of addiction people more easily recognize. You can take a second and read through all of them. I'm getting right to the relevant part. However, there is another set of destructive behaviors that are rarely subsumed under the umbrella of addictions. The phenomenon of ideological obsession, also known as obsessive ideological passion, which has been defined as the overwhelming engagement in a political or religious ideology. Much like other addictions, the manifestations of ideological obsession consist of strong, irresistible impulses, recurrent conflicts with other life domains, giving up other activities, and the pursuit of one's ideology, despite it being like I said. I'm linking this below if you would like to read the full thing. The sources are all cited. You just have to hover over the blue numbers. I personally think it's interesting, and I think it's sound. The TikToker who made me want to search this says they had their own addiction stint, and during it they were also pretty miserable and awful. Not to be messy and personal, but I know of 2 people who went skiing often together back in the day, and now one's an insufferable maggot and the other is an insufferable zealot, both in obsessive ways. Why am I bringing this up? I'm not making claims. I'm just saying, if you've heard the speculation, you've heard the speculation. And even so, I don't think you need to be a skier to be susceptible to being addicted to feeling superior. I'm still a firm believer that bigoted views were already there, and falling into this addiction just intensified and exacerbated them. So please don't point any fingers at me trying to say I'm excusing people being absolutely awful. I am not that person. I just wanted to talk about how embarrassing I think her behavior is, and I find that theorized link here very interesting. As always, if you enjoy talking things pop culture or influencer drama and just gossiping in general, go ahead and leave a like, leave a comment, make sure you subscribe so you catch the next one, and share the video so that you can invite other people into the gossiping and yapping and discussing.